off, yay to impromptu hair bumps. And I have 3 different books I want to tell you guys about because I've done absolutely nothing but lay in bed and read for the last 2 days. Well, 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know how long I've been reading. Time kind of just over my head. The first book I'm going to talk about is Lord of the Flies. Now, it's usually a required piece of reading for any high school senior, so I expect some of you have already read the story. When I first found out that I was going to have to read the book as a senior, I figured, okay, I might as well read it now and get it over with. But that was like 8 years ago, so the story was a little fuzzy. But I will tell you one thing. If you haven't read it and you will have to read it as a senior, read it now. Go to the library, go to the bookstore somewhere, find a copy and read it. Because it is an amazingly difficult story to understand if you don't know what you're looking for. The first time I read it, I understood the plot, the very top layer of the story, with the action and the dialogue and the movement. I understood that these boys were on this island together and shit was going down. But reading it the second time and being older and having kind of pushed the plot to the wayside, I could understand all the symbolism that he puts into the book. There's this balance of society versus this primitive acting like an idiot culture that they started to pick up. So it'll be nice to you as the reader if you go out and read it once beforehand. It makes it easier, I think. You'll even see something, and this is something I wanted to bring up because I've never heard a teacher mention it before. I don't know if it was something that Golding meant to put into the book, but there are 2 characters in the book, twins named Sam and Eric. And for about the first half of the story, he writes their names as Sam and Eric, 3 separate words. And as the story progresses, and they kind of lose their individual sense of self, he starts to squish their names together into one long Sam and Eric. And I always thought that was kind of interesting. This one I recommend reading twice to everyone. And the next 2 books I'm pretty much going to make it to one long review about the first, like, 1/6 of this series. So, the Daughter of the Moon series, from what I figure, 4 girls do special stuff. They have special powers. That is a given right away. I don't want to spoil the plot because these are very plot-based stories, and giving that away kind of just kills it for those of you who should go out and read these books. But there's some interesting stuff, and you kind of, with the characters, I think as a teenage girl who's about in their age bracket, it feels a little wrong. The characters do seem a bit older than what you would expect these 16-year-old girls to be acting. Like, they're sophomores in high school, and they go out and hang out in the clubs, and they're dancing like hookers. That's maybe a little harsh. But still, read them. I think they represent kind of this temptation of good versus evil. They don't have a really sappy, cheesy moral lesson at the end for the most part. But really what I'm keeping my fingers crossed right now is to see a huge character flaw in Vanessa, see how this little love thing goes, and find out more about Jamina in the next book. I think that is it for now. I'm going to continue talking about the Daughter of the Moon series. They're on a shelf up above my bed over there. That's why I keep glancing that way. I think that's it. Now I will talk to you guys again later. Bye.